Last, past District Governor Jim Johnston, and I'll get his presentation.
Okay, I'm Jim Johnston from the Lawrenceburg Club. I served as District Governor during the centennial year. This is a history of all the projects that our club has been involved in since 2006. The project goes way back before that with the Franklin Noon Club, Smyrna, Spring Hill, and some other clubs. The first year that Lawrenceburg got involved was in 2006 in a little village called Lawrenceburg, which is down close to the Pacific, about 4 or 5 miles from the Nicaraguan border. It started out as a water project. We built a 10,000-gallon water tank, built pilas at the back of each house, which is a concrete water basin with a spigot. We dug a 60-foot fresh water well. We set an electric pump, but the village did not have electricity. So we had to come across the top of the village with power lines to electrify the water well. The Honduran government had been promising that village electricity for 26 years. So we thought, well, since we got to come across the top of the village with power lines, why not just wire all the houses while we're here? So after working down there for 3 weeks, when we left, the village had a working electrical distribution system and a working water distribution system. And we also did some other things. We took down several containers of bilingual books. The school did not have any pencils or paper of any kind, so we supplied them with a lot of that. And we also took down several duffel bags full of baseball equipment and soccer equipment. The following year, we broke up into 2 groups. The Franklin Noon Club went down to El Porton and did a complete water distribution system and a complete electrical distribution system at a cost of $75,000 for 68 homes. And the Lawrenceburg group, with the help of some other clubs, did a project at San Juancito, which Virgil Crowder, past District Governor from Lawrenceburg, was down there with us that year. We wired 37 homes, 2 churches, 2 schools. We built an electrical distribution system across the valley and halfway up the mountain to Nucito. Did some repairs at the school. And then March of '68, Franklin Noon Club had dropped completely out of that project and turned it over to the management of the Lawrenceburg Rotary Club. We went further up the mountain from San Juancito to San Juan Arriba and did an electrical distribution system into that village and wired 56 homes, 3 churches, 1 school. Madison, Alabama Rotary Club built some Echo stoves. We provided a lot of dental and health supplies and vitamins to the kids, and my wife and I painted the inside of the school building there. And the Martin Rotary Club had a fundraiser and raised enough money to provide backpacks filled with school supplies, t-shirts and flip-flops for each of the kids in the school there. In 2009, we started a new project in Jocote at a cost of $29,000 for phase 1 and 3. The village, even though it only had 54 homes, was scattered out over a very wide area. So we couldn't afford to build a distribution system to cover that wide of an area, so we broke it down into 4 sectors or phases. That year we did phase 1 and 3. We bought 50-something backpacks, 1 for each of the kids in the school, filled it up with school supplies. We did a dental clinic without any kind of equipment other than the little things you pull teeth with. And they saw 65 patients that day and pulled 200 and something teeth. Madison, Alabama group built Echo stoves in each house. The Choluteca Rotary Club provided a water filter for each house. And we got the state of Choluteca to send the only road grader they had out to the village to grade the road through the village to kind of smooth it out a little bit for us. And then I took a family photo of each family in the village and printed it out on photo paper and then presented to them. And while all of that was going on, we had the well contractor go back down the leisure pad and dig a deeper well because the little 60-foot well wasn't supplying the village with enough water. So we dug a 225-foot well at a cost of $10,000, which was basically funded by the Franklin Noon Club. In February 2010, we went back to Hacote to do phase 2 of the electrical system. And then at Lamont, we did a dental clinic with the proper dental equipment. And then went down to Libertad and built the water well, or built the well house around the well that we dug the year before and installed the pump and got the control panel wired. And then August of 2010, we completed the final phase 4 of the electrical at Hacote at a cost of $8,800. And then we started a new electrical project at High Cayenne, which we did phase 1, which was wiring all of the houses. And Lawrenceburg Rotary Club provided the funds to build a house for a needy family. And then the rental vehicles, and then the additional travel of $14,000 and the housing $3,000 did not come out of our project money. It came out of the pockets of the Rotarians that go down. This is the 2 dental units that we purchased at a cost of about $2,600 each. So when the dentist in Choluteca Rotary Club goes out to these little small remote villages to do dental clinics, they have the proper equipment. Out in the field with this unit, they can do root canals, they can do fillings, and they can do cleaning and polishing. And when none of that works, they get the pliers out. This is a house that Lawrenceburg provided the funds to build, not to build this house, but to replace this house. A family of 9 people was living in this little 2-room shack. The kids slept on the floor in the kitchen and the adults slept on the beds in the back. So we built them a new home, which I'm sorry, but I don't have photographs of the new house. At the end of that project, the Choluteca Rotary Club meets on Friday night. This was the night before we left. This lady here is the political governor of the state of Choluteca. She presented our district with an appreciation certificate for the work that our district does in Choluteca. And she had a film crew from the CNN affiliate there in San Marcos that filmed the meeting and then played it on TV for days after that. In 2012, we went to El Limon. It's a little village up on top of a mountain. We brought in the electrical distribution system, which was setting the poles, the power lines, the transformers. And then we wired the 29 houses that were in the village and provided books and school supplies. We did 3 dental units in little remote villages around that area, and then provided some materials that we had left over enough to wire the remaining 8 houses at Queenville. The Spring Hill group went down with us that year. The house on the left over here is the house that we were going to repair, but once we got down there and looked at it, the roof was gone, the walls were buckled, and the house was basically getting ready to cave in. So I asked the young man that lived there if he would like to have a new house. Well, 5 minutes later, he was digging the foundation. And then by the end of the week, this is a house that Lawrenceburg, Lawrenceburg provided half the funds. Spring Hill provided the other half of the funds, plus all of the labor to build the house, which they had completed within a week. Then we provided the funds to build the electrical distribution system, which was setting 95 power poles and several miles of secondary and primary power lines, and installed a countless number of transformers, and then a drop down from the power pole to each house that we wired. And this is our past district governor, Dick Bowers, wiring up a control panel. And this is David Hayes from Memphis. He's a brother to the president or incoming president at Lawrenceburg. This is Mark Hayes, Don Gregson, and the two ladies on each end is Mark Hayes' daughters, and Holly Holt in the center there from the Martin Rotary Club. And that's my son David, who just walked in a minute ago with Mark and me. And here Charlie Brewer from Lawrenceburg is over making sure David's nailing that board on there correctly. And this guy here is digging a hole for a fire pole, and you can see how deep he's gone down through solid rock. And this little man worked the whole week we were there digging that one hole. And he was basically using a pry bar and a chisel. And Kim doing some wiring there, looking like a professional electrician. And then our electrical inspector always makes sure the fire is flowing through the meter. And this was at the Rotary Club. Like I say, they meet on Friday night, and this was the last night we were there. And this little boy here is 6-year-old Marlon Herrera that we found in the village. You see the homemade crutches that he's using there. He had fallen and dislocated his left leg and crushed the hip socket. And this is Marlon with Kim and Marlon with his mom and dad. When I left El Limon last year, when I got home, I started finding help for Marlon. I visited several doctors and hospitals, and I found a doctor at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, Jonathan Schenneker, who, after seeing the x-rays and the photographs, he said, "I'll do the surgery for nothing." He submitted his case to Vanderbilt's International Charities Committee, and they voted unanimously to fully fund his surgery. Choloteca Rotary Club obtained passports and medical visas for Marlon and his mother. So when we went down February of this year, we did, Spring Hill did the village of Las Palmas and Barranquilla, and the Choloteca Rotary Club did a dental brigade at High Cayenne, where they usually do theirs on Sunday starting from around 9 o'clock until about 2 or 3 whenever they finish. That particular day they saw 101 patients. Lawrenceburg is partnering with Lawrenceburg Kentucky Rotary Club to build a little water distribution system in El Zapote. And then our group from Lawrenceburg and Dyersburg and a couple other clubs, we went to Topasee and wired 29 homes, 1 church, 2 school buildings, and 1 clinic. And then when we left to come home, we brought Marlon with us. This is the budget for this year's project. Everything that we did totaled $80,000. This is the clubs in our district that donated funds, and you can see there's quite a few of them. And then since I did this a couple of days ago, I've received more checks from more clubs. So we're getting very, very close to that $80,000. And the team that went down this year, we had 6 representing Lawrenceburg, 6 Spring Hill, 5 from Dyersburg, 2 from Brentwood. One of those being our past district governor, Dick Bowers. We had 1 from Union City and 1 from Brownsville. And then all the members of the Choloteca Rotary Club worked at the dental brigade that we had in February. And this is some photographs from this year's project at Topasee. The man in the middle there is John Pillow. John's in his mid-70s. He's retired 40-something years with the Lawrenceburg Power System. And then This is my son David with John Pillow and Pat Holman, who I think is sitting in the back there. This is the entrance into the village. It's as far out as the road went. There was no cell phone service out there because of no cell phone towers. And this is some photographs of Marlon. This is his first visit with Dr. Schenecker, and here he's with Dr. Schenecker. After the surgery, he went back for a cast change. He was in a body cast from almost the neck down to the ankle in a reclining position, and he lived in my home for 2 months while he was here, him and his mother. And we took him back to El Limon about three or 4 weeks ago. And this is the home that Marlon lives in. It's made out of sticks, dirt floor, no furniture, wood burning stove with no ventilation. The smoke gets into the house. And then here he's with the mayor of the mayor of Bacote, which is about 2 miles away. And that's the presentation. Like I said, there's probably 15 or 20 clubs in the district that donate money to that project, and then there's about 6 or 8 clubs that actually have volunteers that go down with us. And we're always looking for new people. This was Pat's first year down, and I'm sure he'll want to go back. And well, I didn't see Rick back there. Rick's part of our team too. Rick's been down every year except the first year. 2007, he's been every year. A couple of years he went down with me in the fall to select the next year's project. So Rick's made what, about 10 or 12 trips down there. Charlie Brewer's been every trip. He's not here today. His granddaughter is graduating from high school, so he couldn't come up this week. But anybody that wants to go to Honduras, let me know. If your club wants to donate money, let me know. And we'll put it to good use, and we'll work it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
I got to set up the lunch and things.
Okay.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
How is little boy? What's he doing now?
He got his cast off Tuesday of this week. Dr. Schenecker said the hip socket was so crushed that there was a 50-50 chance that the leg might come back out, but he's hoping that the scar tissue will build up around it. He couldn't get the leg all the way up in the socket because the leg had been out for 1.5 years, and that tissue inside the socket kept rolling down, so he couldn't get it all the way up in there. But he said that he thought after the cast come off and he started walking, the pounding would work it back up into that socket. But he said if he took any of that out, it was instant arthritis. So he said he gave it his best shot, and it was just, a matter of time to see how well he's going to do. But the way he lives in the living conditions, hardest thing I ever had to do was leave him there. I got to run stuff for
Well,
lunch.
thank you, Jim, JD, Bill, Mac. As you've seen this morning, everything from nutrition, feeding children, pulling teeth, and taking care of dental needs and medical needs, and feeding children again, infrastructure that leads to helping a young child who has a hip and a walking issue. So wonderful work. Thanks to all of you. We're over time. Any other questions before we go? If not, we're dismissed. Thank you all.